Greetings, this is Mbali Mapipa, and I'll be doing a presentation on eggplant and food security. This is basically how I'm going to be doing my presentation. I'm going to introduce my species, list the research methods that I used, explain eggplants in South Africa, the interpretations of my research findings, conclusion, and references. This is the species eggplant, also known in science as Solanum melongena. I hope I said that right. So, an introduction to my species. So, it basically grows between 1.2 to 12 inches in length, and it contains a high amount of nicotine levels. It grows in warm weather temperatures, ideally summer, of course. It is rich in fibers, vitamin K, C, B, copper, magnesium, and phosphorus. China is the largest manufacturer of eggplant and it originates in Asia. Objectives. Where are eggplants currently found? How will eggplant distribution shift under changing climates and factors that affect eggplant distribution? So I'm going to be basically discussing that in this presentation. Starting off with the definition of food security, which is everyone having access to healthy food for a longer period of time. It is included in the South African Constitution that everyone, and I quote, everyone has the right to sufficient food and water, which is in the section 27(1)(b). The state has an obligation according to section 27(b), which is the state must formulate reasonable legislative efforts and take other measures within its available resources to achieve the progressive realization of these rights. So basically, food security is quite an essential issue in South Africa. I mean, it being in the Constitution. This image represents the global distribution of eggplants, which in science is known as Solanum melongena. The points represent the amount of eggplant in each continent. Most yellow points are in Asia, which is where the eggplant originates. North America, South America, Africa, Australia, and New Zealand have lesser points. Of course, eggplants do not originate in these continents. That's why. Research methods are platforms that I had used to gather all the information that I have in this presentation. I used GPIF, I used divergis.org, and I used ecological niche modeling. Eggplant history and background. So an eggplant are native to Asia, precisely India and Bangladesh. They are known in British English as urbines or melogenes. Known in South Africa as brinjal. Climate conditions for eggplant. So the ideal climate conditions in which eggplants can grow. It requires warm season for growth. South Africa's weather is perfect for its growth. Would not grow in cold conditions. The minimum temperature is 10 degrees Celsius and the maximum is 34 degrees Celsius. So it can grow between those two temperatures. This image shows how eggplants are produced, the ideal environment, the kind of soil, and the kind of weather. So like any other plants, eggplants requires certain types of soils in order for them to grow. So eggplants requires loam soil and sandy loam soil, which on my left is the loam soil and on my right is the sandy loam soil, the image. Eggplants planting periods in South Africa, the kind of environment and the months. In low fields areas, eggplants grow from February to May. Low fields are frost-free areas. In middle fields areas, grows from September to December. Middle fields areas are moderate temperature areas. High fields grows from October to November. High fields are areas with cold weather, and in the Western Cape it grows from October to December. This image shows Solanum melongena bioclim. But what is bioclim? Bioclim is a method of discovering where a certain species mostly and least grow in. It does this using data. In all of North America, eggplants grow mostly in southwestern states and in Mexico. The southwest in the USA and Mexico has hot summers and mild winters. Such conditions are favorable for the growth of eggplants, which explains why in all of North America, the southwestern has more eggplants growth. South Africa has the ideal weather conditions to grow eggplants. However, not all of South Africa can grow eggplants. Cape Town and the eastern parts of South Africa have loam soil and sandy loam soil needed to grow eggplants. Bioclim most limiting factors are represented on the legend on my right. Limiting factors are factors which impact the production and growth of eggplants. It is due to these factors that eggplants grow in some parts of the globe and not in others. Solanum melongena domain. All continents have green, light green, yellow, and orangish shade, but only Asia has the red shade, which Asia is the native continent of eggplants. Eco crops. Interpretations using the plot analysis. Potentials of eggplants. Full of health benefits, requires warm to hot weather conditions for its growth, has the potential to grow in most parts of the globe, can be grown anywhere, almost anywhere. Limitations: cold weather conditions, amateur farming practices, and pests. Opportunities: job opportunities, improved international relations, countries trading with each other, exporting and importing eggplants, um, feeding nations basically. Threats: climate change. Climate change is a threat to the production of eggplants throughout the world. The results. Present maps which show the current distribution of eggplants throughout the globe. Dark green being the lowest and red being the highest. This map shows the current occurrences of eggplants from 1950 to 2000. These are the references that I used in this presentation. Thank you.